Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session. My name's Collin Foreman. I'm the editor of Mead. And this session is going to be talking about the integration of technology and sustainability. This should be a really exciting panel. It's really talking about two of the key topics that we're talking about all over the world at the moment, which is technology, new technological developments, and how does the world adapt to them, and also sustainability and how we can make our world a more sustainable place. So two really important things that we're talking about. We've got a great panel here today. So I think the first thing to do is just for everybody to quickly introduce themselves. So Dr. Hajar, if you'd like to go first.
Yes, pleasure. Thanks, Collin. And hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and give and grow in this sustainability symposium. My name is Hajar Haddaoui, and I'm the CEO of Circular Economy Company here in Saudi Arabia. And before few weeks, I was in Switzerland working for IT company as Entity Data, Swisscom, and Bell Canada before. So happy to join this amazing panel and share with you insight about how IT can leverage sustainability.
Thank you, Hajar. And Nura, would you like to introduce yourself? Nura, you're on mute still, so if you just want to knock that off.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Nura ElGhaib. I'm a sustainable interior designer. I'm the director at King Khalid Eye Specialist Hospital. I'm passionate about sustainability. There's loads of projects from concept design to renovations to energy efficiency. So being part of such panels is always great learning and great networking. So yeah, I'm looking forward.
Thank you, Nura. And Shatha, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Shatha ElGhaib. I'm the founder of Immortality Sustainability Consultancy. My journey started with sustainability as a social entrepreneur, an advocate of green technology as well, and a researcher and at the moment. And I look forward to this session with you all. Lovely meeting you.
Thank you, Sasha. And Manpreet?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. I'm Manpreet Kaur, Director of Experiential Marketing at Cvent, which is a SaaS technology company. And I oversee 1,000+ unique marketing activations and events for Cvent annually, with a core focus on making them all sustainable, mostly by leveraging technology. And so, yes, I'm super excited about this session since this is about integrating technology, for sustainable future.
Thank you. And Weaam, last but not least.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Weaam Sinjab, a digital transformation consultant in Eyenology. I have been working for the past 5 years with Eyenology on projects about digital transformation for the government in Saudi Arabia.
Okay, thank you, everyone. It looks like we've got quite a broad range of experiences and roles that people are involved in. So hopefully we should get some different viewpoints and perspectives on some of the issues that we'll be covering. The first place to start, Shatha, if I could ask you to maybe kick off, is just how can technology help address this issue of sustainability? I mean, sustainability is quite a large topic, and technology again is quite a large topic. But how can technology really help with sustainability? In what ways do you see that complementing?
I can probably
Oh, sorry, Shatha, you're on. Shatha's on mute because she was talking.
I think you can hear me now.
Yes. We can hear you.
All right. Okay, so thank you for starting me off and putting me in the spotlight. But so when we talk about integrating technology and sustainability, we're talking about a lot of we're talking about integrating in general technology in our daily life. Sustainability is a holistical word, and although it's been used kind of inside every single kind of area or domain, I want to focus on the word sustainable technology, which is the ability for organization to embed not only sustainability in their infrastructure, but overall through their ethos and their outcomes through all the organization. If we just take a look at the technology trends in sustainability, according to Gartner, we see that there is a prediction that by 2025, we see all executive holding responsibility for achieving outcome through sustainable technology. So now we are in a time and place where technology not only is available, but it's also helping us to commit to the other side, which is sustainability. The other aspect of technology within organizations, for example, or in our daily kind of practices and companies, we see that the trend also continues that 25% of these companies will link their compensation directly on the impact of sustainable technology. So that's one aspect also when we look at technology in our workplace. I have to say that we are now very kind of in the fourth industrial revolution, and if we just take a look at what's happening the past couple of years, where we see generative AI, for example, the evolution of it. We are moved from human augmentation to AI engineering, machine learning, and today AI is actually helping us, for example, in decision making. How does that tie to sustainability? We are now 2023. We are now presented with the decentralized generative AI. So we have the generative AI helping mimic the natural systems that needs to be regenerated. Now you have technology working with nature that is mimicking exactly what's happening through a very symbiotic relationship. And this is only happening today at this time because of what technology is able to do. So it's more than an integration, it's almost a driver for anything we do at this moment. So
Manpreet, you were looking to jump in on this question. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree with her, with whatever points she just mentioned. Technology absolutely play a very crucial role, in promoting sustainable practices. I'm going to a little bit touch base on, energy, transportation, and waste management, because these are the aspects or sectors that I work very closely on a day-to-day basis. So when it comes to energy, well, it definitely helps in renewable energy, right? So technology enables the harnessing of renewable sources like, solar winds and hydropower. And it also helps in, energy efficiency. For example, like, the IoT devices and data analytics can absolutely improve energy efficiencies in buildings and industry. Now, when it comes to transportation, now this is my favorite aspect or the sector, because I've seen like a drastic change in the sector, especially with electronic vehicles, right? With the EV technology, reducing the greenhouse gas emissions. We also now have mobility apps, apps that optimizes transportation choices, reducing the congestions and emissions. And we all must have heard about the autonomous vehicles, like, those self-driving cars that can enhance traffic efficiency and also reduce accidents. And then the last sector, which I want to talk about a little bit is the waste management. So there are recycling technologies, and I absolutely love these recycling technologies because, this helps in improving the recycling rates. And there are also technologies that converts waste into energy, thereby reducing landfill usage. And then, of course, we all must have heard about the IoT for monitoring, those sensor track waste bins that helps optimizing the collection routes. So in all of these sectors and other sectors, I'm pretty sure technology can help drive sustainability by reducing resource consumption, enhancing efficiencies, and also minimizing the environmental impacts.
Thanks, Manpreet. Nura, you had your hand raised. Did you want to make a point? And I had a question for you anyway, so I'll let you make your point.
No, it's okay. I think we've taken quite some time with this question. I think the answers are quite encompassing, so I think it's a good time to move forward.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you. I mean, you're a designer. I wanted to ask you, how's technology coming into the design of projects and how to help achieve sustainable outcomes?
I must say, it's very exciting for me, especially at a specialized eye hospital, because there's the design aspect and the technological and sustainability, but there's also like the patient, which we have patients who are low vision or photophobia. So there's the added medical incorporating of design and being careful of how you design for a specific. Something that's very close to my heart is actually lighting, because it affects the vision and taking into consideration. So we're looking at human-centered light, which is light that mimics the natural world's light cycle and supports the circadian rhythm. So it not only changes temperature, it changes temperature and levels. So it automatically adjusts the inside light to the outside, which helps hormones and activities. And it also, you can control and make the rooms, for example, if you take a patient room in the hospital, you can make it agile by adding these types of lights, and you can customize it. So let's say I have a patient who's staying in the room who has low vision. It needs a higher temperature, it needs a higher voltage of lighting, so you can set it up, and then this patient exits and a photophobia patient comes in, which needs a lower temperature because its retina is very sensitive. And then you have the professionals who come in, needs to do some reading, needs to take some blood tests, and that can all be monitored and controlled and set up beforehand. So you're not sitting there with a dimmer or different switches, or you need to change bulbs, or you need to dedicate specific rooms to specific patients. And I think that increases the agility of the whole system.
Okay, no, fantastic. It's great to hear about some sort of real world examples that are going on in Saudi Arabia.
Very exciting. Yes, it's
Thank you very much. I think if we move on to the next question, I'm mindful that Dr. Hajar and Weaam, you haven't answered, so perhaps one of you two would like to pick this one up. I mean, what are the potential impacts and benefits of using emerging technologies like AI and Internet of Things and blockchain in its sort of enhancing sustainability goals?
Well, brilliant questions. I think it's relevant for many sectors first, many verticals, but also to reach out the goals and the strategy of sustainability. First one that I will pick up is the cloud and computing, where we can also switching to the green cloud architecture, which is very critical and important for many of the sectors, including energy, oil, and mining. The IT hardware also user and device where we auto switch off and hardware, and where we sometimes we are not focusing on this part, but this part is the most generative one, where we have end of life hardwares in many companies, and this one need to be also done. The energy and efficiency and usage, where we use also AI for that, and application and data, developing sustainable architectures and the rationalization of the application in terms of data center, using AI and machine learning to optimize those data centers critical. Many of them, plus 20, I think, data center in the Middle East are planning until 2025 to get into this AI part and utilization of the data center, to have also this cooling technology using machine learning to optimize data center cooling also system, which is critical and important. And from an AI perspective, have been mentioned also by Shatha around the part, the IoT part, and using IoT as a service and sustainability as a service. But this part need also consulting, where sustainability consulting for IT services is a recurring one. Organizations are not ready yet, and mainly in the Middle East and Europe also. Most of the CTOs, 35%, in regards to Gartner, are not fit enough really to drive the sustainability strategy and need advisors and consultants to help them to leverage that one, especially in the field that you mentioned, which is AI, blockchain, and machine learning also. In the government sector, they are more advanced, let's say, because so there is an incubation into the strategy itself, not the sustainability strategy, not an IT strategy. It's ready into their own strategy. It's not a CTO issue or a CISO issue, or it's really a CEO issue. So they are driving that from really a strategy perspective, and I think this is what all the sectors and verticals need to do. There is no digitalization without sustainability, and there are both driver to get into one goal, which is.
I'm glad you mentioned digitalization. That brings us on to the next question, which perhaps I could ask Weaam, which is about how can digitalization and data analytics contribute to more efficient resource management and reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, and really just help conserve resources.
The question is to me?
No, it's to Weaam.
Okay.
You can go ahead, Dr. Hajar.
No, go ahead. Good.
Can I hear the question again?
Yeah, it's basically about how can digitalization and data analytics contribute to more efficient resource management, so with things like greenhouse gases.
Okay, let me talk about it from some experience we had. Using IoT and calling for some data from the machines. IoT is the Internet of Things. So when we have internet in different machines, like lighting in the streets or other machines, it can give us data. When we take this data and do the data analysis for it, we can know, for example, which street is used in this time more, so we can increase the light, and we can dim lights in areas that is not using the streets, for example. Also, it works with the traffic light as well. Sometimes some countries are using sensors and IoT in the traffic lights, so it also can reduce the traffic and increase the efficiency by not using having a lot of cars in the street and waiting for the traffic.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask?
Let's start. I think Manpreet was first, I think, just slightly. Manpreet, if you'd like to go first.
Yeah, I love this topic, and I'm pretty sure everyone is passionate about digitalization and data analytics. So I'm going to be quick. So absolutely, this can help, and I'm going to touch base a little bit on energy management and supply chain optimization. There are smart meters, and as Weaam mentioned, there are IoT devices that can collect real-time data on energy consumptions, allowing for better management, optimization, and reduction of energy usage in buildings and industries. Then we have supply chain optimization, right? So data analytics can help track and optimize supply chain, reducing transportation emissions and ensuring the efficient use of resources. It can also help, with waste reductions. So data analytics, this can definitely help in identifying the patterns in waste generation, helping businesses and municipality implement strategies to reduce waste and improve recycling rates. And lastly, weather forecasting, for example, right? Advanced weather models and data analytics can help farmers optimize crop planting and harvest times, reducing resources waste in agriculture. So overall, yes, the integration of digitalization and data analytics and resource management enables organizations and governments to optimize processes, reduce waste, and much more in taking more sustainable decisions.
Okay, Shatha, your turn.
I'm just going to tackle the part about the emissions or carbon kind of decarbonization initiatives that the companies now are trying to tackle. Given that we are in the Middle East, we've seen how, and we have COP up our heads here. The last couple of years, you saw that a lot of initiatives coming out from these regions. I will go back to the II and tell you that because right now we are in a position to have better monitoring and support system through technology, we are able to tackle these issues with more, let's say, commitment and with more with transparency. So when we talk about analytics, companies company by default are able, for example, to calculate their greenhouse emissions, the scope 1 and scope 2, which is the direct one created by the company or through their electricity or their own cars. But when we talk about scope 3 emissions, and that's when we call the entire supply chain, and that is extremely difficult to manage and monitor without proper analytical tools. And this is where technology is filling this gap. Just to give you an example, when we all saw the Apple commercial with Mother Earth in the meeting, and everybody is trying to convey their sustainability targets by 2030. For a company like Apple to, at this moment, to come with that kind of initiative and very clear KPIs in what they want to achieve, that means they've reached a point where that scope 3 is even something they can actually monitor and manage and actually report on. One of the key aspects of these analytics and reporting tools is transparency. And then with the new technologies like generative AI, we can come to a more a viable decision-making that is actually supported by nature and knowledge. So I'll go back because scope 3 is the majority of what we're talking about. All these top conferences is the reason behind we are not able to properly calculate the scope 3 emission, which is the entire supply chain of the companies and who they monitor. But this is where, going back to having these tools and monitoring tool and generative models, AI, able to kind of predict and also provide solutions is what we're having right now. And this is, if I ask anybody in the audience, for example, not everybody probably worked with blockchain, but I'm pretty sure everybody tried ChatGPT or OpenAI the past year. So this is where technology is now becoming more democratized or kind of more decentralized and accessible. Because without transparency, we are not able to achieve sustainability. And that's one of the key aspects of the reporting scheme.
Okay, thanks. That's really, really good point. Dr. Hajar, I think you were trying to come in as well on that point. Thank you for being patient.
Thanks to you. I think it has been said mainly on the part of the AI and shared. For me, it's important also to have a clear view, not just on the transparency, but on the maturity of the verticals and the client that we are working with or collaborating with or partnering with. So this is something that is also very important. In terms of sustainability consulting, there are the part where we have mature client where we can start from scratch, building with them the strategy. There are clients that are already less on the sustainability part, but more advanced on the technology. So it's also to balance this part and to talk to the client clearly about how they can leverage the technology to reach their sustainability goals.
Okay. There's another question which is on the list, which is talking about smart grids. So it's basically saying, how can smart grids and renewable energy technologies play a role in creating a more sustainable and resilient energy infrastructure? Would any of you like to tackle that question? Or should we move on to the next one? We can move on to the next one. Could any of you provide examples of how technology has facilitated more sustainable transportation solutions? I think, Manpreet, you were talking a lot about that, weren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So technology can, definitely play a very pivotal role here. There are a couple of ways that we can do. So first is waste sorting and recycling automation. So we have heard a few of our panelists talking about robotics and AI. So absolutely AI or be it robotics can definitely help improve the efficiencies and accuracy of waste sorting, increasing recycling rates and reducing contaminations. Then we have 3D printing and additive manufacturing, right? So these technology can be used or can use recycled material to create a new product, thereby reducing the need, for virgin resources. And then, of course, sharing economy platforms. So there are apps and websites that can facilitate the sharing of goods and services, reducing the need of ownership and the production of new items. We heard about Shatha talking about blockchain. Blockchain, I see blockchain for traceability and transparency. So blockchain technology, can help transparent supply chain information, ensuring the ethical sourcing and disposal of products. And then lastly, I would say, consumer engagement apps. So there are mobile apps that can educate and engage consumers in recycling and sustainable consumption, making it easier for them to participate in the circular economy. So yes, by leveraging technologies in these ways, the circular economy is promoted, minimizing waste, reducing the extraction of new resources, and ultimately creating a more sustainable and resource efficient systems.
Thanks. We're running. We've got 10 minutes left on the session, and we've talked a lot about the sort of the positives and what good things technology can do. If we can just shift the conversation a little bit and talk about some of the potential risks and challenges associated with the integration of technology and sustainability. Some of these are things like privacy concerns, e-waste generation, and the dependence on scarce resources. Would anyone like to talk about the risks of technology?
I can comment just on Dr. Hajar and take as an opportunity to enter this, but I don't want to take too much of everybody's. When we talk about AI, we have to have a disclaimer under every conversation regarding trust, risk, and security management. One of the things I'm working on, which is plagiarism in AI, which is something we are extremely aware of, with the simplicity and easiness of creating these models. I'm sure Weaam probably could comment more on this. So AI comes with also with its problems and its concerns. The trust, can we trust it as well? That's one of the things. And this is where blockchain can help us probably, or the new technology, more secure kind of, let's say, a more kind of the surface level security when we talk about like the sustainability integration. One of also the important aspect of sustainability now on, which is the concept of convenience culture. We are easily able to pay, we are easily ways to generate kind of list or use kind of these pay and go, like we are with the ease of use technology comes also consequences on the environment, on the footprint that everybody individual. So that's probably something that we should look at it from an individual perspective rather than kind of a governmental and policy perspective, that it's sustainability is an inside job for everybody. And the misuse of technology can lead to disastrous outcomes when it comes to sustainability. But please, I'm sure my colleagues have a lot to say about this.
Yeah, love it. So I think if I may add, we are talking about sustainability, talking about verticals, and talking about technology. And those are composable. So what we need, and I think the most successful businesses or government that have applied correctly a digital transformation linked to the sustainability are those one who had a composable business derive from a combination of mindset, combination of practices and tools. And this is really important that to enable really a successful sustainable or circular economy strategy linked to the digital transformation using AI, using ML, using blockchain. But it's important to have this composable thinking, composable business architecture that leverage also the processes and practice, and composable technology to match it with them. And there is a lot how to empower the internal function to work together, not as a silos, but the sustainability chief head with the CTO and so on and so forth, including also the CISO, where cybersecurity is critical and important. Promote also high trust in the culture to empower the organization. And from the other side, from a business architecture point of view, is to shape this multidisciplinary team and drive accountability to them, that they can design a business process in parallel with technologies capability, and the composable technology that is matching to your strategy, because sometimes we don't need AI, sometimes we need another technology, and that's important to establish iterative development techniques like DevOps as a default approach to develop those digital transformations.
Okay, thank you, Hajar. I think we've touched on a nerve here. There seems to be lots of comments going through. And Nura, would you like to add to this?
Yes, I would love to. I think my biggest concern when it comes to all this excitement is actually to have the right infrastructure first taken into place, because from my experience is there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of theoretical, there's a lot of B2 kind of there's a lot of selling to the consumer, but there's a missing link of where it starts and where it's going to end, and that takes a little bit more time. And the biggest example for me is waste management, especially in Saudi Arabia. I find it like there's a lot of work to do there, and I think technology and a good infrastructure could really be helpful and could connect the B2C. And then B2B, I think, is taking a bit of time into looking at the process from the beginning to the end, and not getting all excited about all of this that's out there without really connecting all the dots and seeing where it starts and where it ends, and how can we make this work really properly. Okay,
thank you. And Manpreet, you also wanted to contribute on this question.
Yeah, absolutely. There are risks involved. So I want to touch base a little bit on privacy concerns. The collection and the analysis of vast amount of data for sustainability purposes can raise privacy issues, right? So ensuring data security and protecting individuals' privacy is very crucial. It's a crucial challenge, is what I would say. Then comes e-waste generation, right? As technology advances, the disposal of the older devices and the components can lead to increased electronic waste. And that's the reason why we term it as e-waste. So proper recycling and disposal of electronic waste are very essential to mitigate this problem. And then the last is energy consumption, right? The energy demands of data centers, manufacturing processes, and electronic devices can be significant. Sustainable energy sources and energy efficient technologies, again, are very necessary to reduce this impact. And also, like, along with privacy concern that I just mentioned earlier, cybersecurity risk. So yes, like, one needs to be cognizant about these risks as well. The increased use of technology for sustainability makes system vulnerable to cyber attacks, right? So robust cybersecurity measures are crucial to protect such, critical infrastructures and data. So
Thanks,
yeah, those would be my points.
Thanks. We're running out of time, but Weaam, you were mentioned at the beginning of this question as someone who might have some viewpoints on AI. So I'm going to ask you if you'd like to add a final thought to this question before we wrap up.
Actually, like they have answered and said everything I wanted to say. Just some concerns in like we see a lot of fake videos and photos these days using AI and technology. So this is something we should be aware and not judge these days fast. Whenever we see anything, and I believe from them some levels that this should be controlled by the AI generative tools to show that this was created by AI. So this is something like we should really focus on for the coming few years, and not to be ignored.
Okay. Well, we've run out of time. I'm very surprised at how quickly that went. When the 40 minutes flew by very, very quickly, and I think everybody still has a lot to say, but unfortunately we've run out of time. I'd like to thank all the panelists. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your insights. And hopefully we get to catch up again and speak on a lot of very interesting topics, and I'm sure there'll be more as technology and the sustainability challenge rolls on. So thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you
everyone.
for the opportunity.